Hi everybody, and welcome to Angel's Viewpoint. It's been a while since we've taped, and I want to apologize for that. And I've been going through a lot. We had a death in our family, and it took a toll on me and just some other things that were going on. But the major thing and the major reason for not taping for the last couple of months is what I want to talk about today. And I believe it's the fear of failure. And I want to talk to you about, how we self-sabotage our dreams. It can be no matter whether you're writing a book or you're starting a new business or you're entering into a new relationship, the fear of failure can stop you from achieving your goals. And I want to talk about, my personal issues with it. All my life I've kind of been a procrastinator and put things off, and I'll say, I'll do that tomorrow or I'll do it later, and really just sabotaging myself. And I would have the information I need, have the money I need, have everything I need and put in place, but just keep putting it off. Oh, I'll tape the show next week, or I'll tape the show next week, or I'll tape it tomorrow, or later on tonight. And it's like, how long does it take you to set up a video camera and sit down and talk? You know what's on your heart, you know what's on your mind. How long does it take you just to sit down and do that? And it doesn't take any time at all. But the real issue behind it was fear of failure. And the reason why, specifically as it relates to this is, I put out the first couple of shows and I got some views, but I didn't get the views that I wanted. And I had set some kind of unrealistic goal for myself. I had absolutely no idea where I got this measuring stick from. Why I thought I should have a certain amount of views by a certain amount of time, which is completely crazy. I started the show just to talk to you and let you know what's going on in my life, and to hopefully talk to others and find out what's going on in their lives, and hopefully we can take all of our viewpoints and get together and do better as people. And so, I'm not going to allow fear to get in my way. But I had to really take a hard look at myself and say, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of failure? Nobody wants to fail. Nobody sets out on a business venture or enters into a new relationship or moves to a new city and wants to fail. But a lot of people just take into account that there's a reasonable amount of risk involved in whatever you're doing, and you give it your best try, and if you don't do it, if you're not successful, then hey, you move on to the next thing. But fear is something else. And it can have torment. It can make you sabotage yourself. So in essence, it's creating the failure. The fear is creating the failure. The fear of failure is creating the failure. I always tell my friends, I don't know why I haven't taken my own advice, but I always tell them, if you don't even try, then you're guaranteed to fail. Or if you're super negative about everything and you're afraid all the time, you're gonna fail. You're guaranteed to fail. But at least if you try and you have faith and you believe, at least you have a chance. It's much better. I always tell my daughter, you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to do your best, and you do have to try. At least if you try, you have that reconciliation inside of you that says, you can reconcile with yourself and say, I did my best. I tried. I gave it my all. But if you don't try at all, you can't say that. You don't know what you can achieve. I am quite sure before the light bulb was invented, many people failed. Before Thomas Edison was successful, many people probably failed at trying to do that. But if they had let that stop them, if Thomas Edison had let other people's failures guide him, he would have never invented the light bulb, and all of us would be walking around in the dark with lanterns. So you got to keep going. You have to try. You have to have faith. You got to believe. But, sometimes those things are easier said than done. And for me, it stemmed from my childhood, because my father was in and out. And as a child, you don't really understand that it's not your fault. All the other people in your family, and in my case, I got a big family, 5 of us kids, aunts and uncles and cousins and all that. Why would it be my fault? Why would it be me? But somehow I internalized that. Somehow I said I'm not good enough. So I've got to set these unrealistic goals for myself. I've got to be perfect. I got to be number one. No matter what I do, I got to be the best at it. If I'm going to work at fast food, I got to be the best at it. I got to work at the best fast food restaurant. No matter what I'm doing, I always felt like I had to be the best. And in essence, there's nothing wrong with trying to succeed and be the best. But when you don't take into account processes, if you don't take into account how long things take, you set unrealistic goals for yourself. If you don't take into account how much money you have and what resources you have, you're setting unrealistic goals for yourself, and you're guaranteeing yourself that you're going to fail. So what happens is you set this unrealistic goal because you're afraid of succeeding, and then you do it for a little while, and if you don't get the response that you think that you're supposed to get right away, then you're off to the next thing. Then you just go on to the next thing, and that's a fear of failure. If you can't see anything through, if you're always moving on to the next thing, I realize in my life, I'm writing a book this week, and I'm going to be a movie star next week, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, I'm going to start a business. And I had to just focus in on a few things, like I'm running my business, I'm doing my show, I'm taking care of my family, and that's it for right now. And you have to be diligent and keep going, no matter if you get the response that you think you should or not. But the number one thing that I have learned for myself is to take the pressure off. You hear people say, God will not give us more than we can bear. But what about the stuff that you put on yourself? What about the things that have absolutely nothing to do with God? It's all you. You picking up stuff that you're not supposed to carry. You carrying your brother's stuff, your sister's stuff, your mama's stuff, and your daddy's stuff. Stuff that you are not supposed to carry. For a long time, I felt like the weeping willow tree. I was always just sad and depressed, and it wasn't even necessarily what was going on in my life, but I was taking other people's stuff on. And so when you take other people's stuff on, when you set unrealistic goals for yourself, when you allow your past to dictate your present and your future, you kill your dreams. The people always say, dream big, nothing can stop your dreams from coming true. That's not true. Fear can stop your dreams from coming true. You can stop your dreams from coming true if you allow it to rule and dictate your life. So you have to just get up and say, I'm going to do this. Like today, I'm getting up, I'm taping the show, whatever. Whatever comes of it, whoever hears it, whoever receives it, whoever identifies with it, that's where I'm going. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to be diligent and give everything I do in my life 100%. Give it my best and believe that I'm going to succeed, and not allow unrealistic expectations that I've placed on myself that don't come from nobody else but Angel to stop me from moving forward. Because then you're walking around sad and depressed because you're not successful at anything. Well, the reason you're not successful at anything is because you continue to start and stop. You start it, and then fear takes over. You might have a moment of faith and say, okay, I'm going to start this thing. Then fear comes in, and, you're not nothing, you're not going to blah, 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 blah. And you believe it, and then you stop. You will get nowhere in life. Just imagine if you're driving your car, and you keep on stopping and starting. You aren't going to get anywhere, and if you get there, you're going to be late, and everybody's going to be gone. So you really, really, really have to, I really, really, really have to stop allowing fear to steal my dreams and my hopes and continue on past it. There's a good book out there, I can't remember the author right now, that's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I really like the book because it talks about just, moving past your fears. But really, I want to kill those fears. I want to go to the root of them, and really talk to myself and say, Angel, it is not your fault. What your father did or didn't do, what the other people in your life did or didn't do, when people did or did not receive you, that is not your fault. That is their own issues. That's their personal issues, and don't take them on yourself. I have to tell myself that, and I have to tell myself that often. It's not like you just wake up one day and you just magically healed, and there's no more residual effects of what happened to you in your past. Maybe someday, but I'm not there yet. So I have to constantly tell myself, you're not a product of your past. You don't have to be what they say you should be, and you're not a failure. Nobody's rejecting you. Your father was not specifically pointing you out and saying, I don't love Angel. He loves you very much. You have to tell yourself those things, and whatever your issue is, whatever's holding you back, I would hope and pray that you would get the help that you need. I have a great group of people around me that I talk to, and I share what I'm going through with, and I would admonish you to get yourself, if it's a group of friends, if it's a pastor, if it's a therapist, or if you just need a journal, whatever it is you need to do to find out, why am I afraid? And if you're procrastinating, honey, chances are you're afraid. You have a fear of failure. If you're stopping and starting, chances are you have a fear of failure. So be realistic in your goals. Take measurements. Do the research to see what those measurements are so you can measure your success and see how long it's supposed to take. See what the process is. See what resources you have, and set goals based on that information so that you can achieve your goals. Set short-term goals so you can achieve them, and that will help you with the fear of failure, because you will be successful. And just keep going. If one thing doesn't work and you've given it your all and you've seen it through to the end, then go ahead and pray and figure out what that next thing is and move on to the next thing. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. I appreciate your time. I know there's other things that you could be doing with your time. Hopefully you'll join us for the next episode of Angel's Viewpoint. Thanks again, and have a great day.